Hey guys, today's video we have a Kai'Sa main AD carry who is currently gold 3 on the NA server with a 56% win rate with 173 games played. So this is going to be a really good game to watch how to improve your laning phase. So a lot of things go wrong for this Kai'Sa during their laning phase, and it'll be good to see how they deal with the adversities that they come up with versus how I am going to suggest they should deal with those adversities. So let's get into the game. Cool. All right, so good to see Kai'Sa is not AFK, so really good. This is what I want to see every single fucking AD carry do. Always come to here and defend. Excellent. What I would do here is place a ward. Place a ward. I mean, just place the ward, please. There we go. We can already see the first error. You just place the ward. When you're an AD carry, your first ward isn't important for laning phase. It's just really important for this invade, because you'll see this in all ranks is a lot of people like to level 1 invade bot side, whether it's on blue side or red side. There's almost like, 50% of the time there is a level 1 invade, and look how stuffed up this Kai'Sa gets, all because she doesn't put her ward in early enough. She's burnt a flash. Pure chaos. Her team is having a duel, but she can't really respond. She tries to go in now, which is good. Get some damage off on the Lux. Mind you, all this is stuffing up her laning phase, right? Look at her health, and now she's going to have to go to lane with this HP. So watch this event play out. You can kind of see they end up getting the red. Look, very good awareness by Bel'Veth to come through. Well played there. Really good team play here. Excellent. This is good to see. Well done. Nice. We've got him out of lane. Okay, excellent. Lux has to recall now. So what should that trigger in your head when you see Lux flash there with about 50 HP? In your head as a gold player, silver player, plat player, that should trigger that Lux has to TP. So recall back. Now, what does that mean for you? That means you have a 2v1 in your bot lane. As we can see here, a 2v1. What should you do when you have a 2v1 as a bot laner? You should push the fuck out of the wave, or you freeze it. If you can't freeze it, push it in so you can get a reset. Because right now, you've got no sums, you're on half HP, and Lux is going to come back to full HP. So your window to get this wave pushed in is about 60 seconds, and he completely misses this window. And now what's going to happen is there's a perfect freeze for Ezreal. Ezreal loves this. It's a 2v1. He's got the wave in a perfect state, and this Lulu and Kai'Sa aren't pushing it in. Your goal here as the AD carry Kai'Sa in regards to what happened at level 1 is to get a recall as quickly as possible. It doesn't matter you're only on 500 gold. The recall isn't about the items you're going to get. It's about the reset of tempo and the reset of your HP bar. So unfortunately, they never get this push off. If these creeps ever crashed into that turret, they would have got the push, and now they're in this really awkward spot where Lux can completely zone them. Now, yes, they're probably playing a little bit too timid here, but Ezreal is level 3, Lux does have her Q level 1, and they don't have any summoners, so they do have to play a little safe here, which is good, respectful. Again, they could have got a recall off here. Judging by how this Lux is zoning them and looking at the wave state, you could have got a recall here because there's a cannon wave, which means, an Ezreal level 3 with a Lux, they can't really push this wave in. You'll actually see how long it will take them to push this wave in. Kai'Sa could have recalled at about the 340 mark, by the way, so it's now 415. You're probably walking, you're about at your inhibitor turret now. 10 seconds go by, 5 seconds you're at your tier 2, and in about 10 seconds you'd be at your tier 1. And instead of being at, 100 health, you'd be at a full health. And with an item advantage, you'd have a long sword over this Ezreal. Instead, you have to sit under a turret here, and look at this. You're missing XP, you're missing gold, and it's just awkward. When situations like this are avoidable, you really want to get out of them, because this isn't how you want to be playing your laning phase. Laning phase is all about keeping it really as calm as possible and just focusing on CS, particularly as a bot lane. and then we can see the eventual death, all because we never pushed that wave in when it was a 2v1. So a little bit of a shame here. The lane definitely isn't over, but Ezreal, as you can see, does have about a 300, 400 gold lead. So not that much, actually. It definitely feels worse than it is when you get killed in lane like that, but we will see Ezreal pick up a bit more of a lead. It comes to 400 now, with also an XP bonus, as you'll see. But really good play by Bel'Veth here to rotate. Hopefully we get some kills here, get back in the game. Excellent. In hindsight, Bel'Veth could have just kept going for Ezreal, and Kai'Sa could have finished off the Lux, but that's okay. Okay, what is wrong here? Tell me. I'm going to give you a few seconds. What is wrong with what this Kai'Sa is doing right now? I'll give you a hint. Look at Ezreal's health bar and try and think what he's doing right now. Okay, Ezreal has to recall here. So you do a quick count, right? Because at this point you can go, you've got two options. You freeze or you hard push. And those two options are purely dependent on how many minions you have. So we can see here there is 1, 2 melee minions, a cannon, and 3 casters. And it's pretty even, right? 1, 2, cannon, 3 casters. But look at the HP bars. Cannon minions are pretty even, but this blue minion is quite low and he's getting targeted. So what's going to happen here, including Kai'Sa's auto attacks, is this lane isn't actually going to freeze. So as soon as you see that now this lane isn't going to freeze, because you can tell here that caster's about to die and there's going to be a disadvantage, you need to push this as hard as you can, because look where Ezreal is. Ezreal is still recalling. Look how far he walked back. That's a bit silly by him. He could have just recalled there. But anyway, we've got an extra 10 seconds because of that. Push this in. Why do you want to push this in? Because it means Ezreal loses tempo, he loses XP, and he loses CS. Those are the key things for you as a 0-1 AD carry to get back in the game. Do not freeze this. When you know it's not going to freeze, you now just need to push this in. Push, push, push. Push as fast as you can, as hard as you can, and just recall. I don't care if you have to recall 5 times in the first 10 minutes of the game. If you recall because you push the turret in, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry about, oh, I'm recalling too much. No, that's fine. When you're down 0-1 and you can get a turret push, that is exactly what you want to do. And now we've got the situation all over again that we saw to Kai'Sa's first death, is a really bad wave state. And this is something I do see with a lot of silver, gold, even sometimes plat AD carries, is wave management. It's really the biggest thing that's holding them back from going that next step. I mean, this guy has like a 57% win rate on his Kai'Sa. He could probably get that up to 60, 65% just with understanding wave management a little bit better here. Now we're in a really awkward situation. We can see Warwick. Obviously, I'll go back to the vision off. We can see that Warwick's here. Why is Lulu there? Like, this looks like a recipe for disaster. Really good double stun. Just get out, Kai'Sa. I wouldn't say that's the best way to run if I was Kai'Sa. I would run this way. It's just safer. Yeah, and we end up having a flash there. So really bad. And that's a pretty good example of, like, my support was doing something dumb and I got punished for it. I like to see there's a bit of humor here, or at least he's taking it on the chin. He's copping it and he's doing some reacts. You know, I'd be pretty frustrated in this situation, but it's not the end of the world yet. You know, there is a 600 gold lead with the Ezreal, but only a 10 CS difference, and hopefully this Kai'Sa will pick up a lot of this. But see how now the Kai'Sa's in the exact same position he was, you know, like 3 minutes ago or 4 minutes ago, where you're under turret and you're fighting for your CS. This is what you never really want to be in. And the easiest way to avoid this is pushing waves in and recalling often, especially when you're low health. Really good shield there by Lulu. And yeah, you just got to recall here. And again, you know, you either die or you're forced to take a really bad recall. And this is a really bad recall. Much better than a death, but still a pretty bad recall. And you're going to see now that this lead does now extend out to about 800 gold. And they've gotten 3 turret platings now. So, you know, it's almost like a 900 gold lead here. Bel'Veth's coming bot though again. So this is really good. And you can kind of see how there's a pattern in this game, right? Red team pushes blue team in. Bel'Veth paths bot lane. Bel'Veth ganks. This time, Bel'Veth might not gank, but you can kind of see how League of Legends, it's very pattern orientated. Like, AD carries, they'll recall, the jungler has a set path, and you can kind of see a lot of things go into a very predictable pattern. Now, hopefully the Bel'Veth sees this and ganks. Excellent. Bel'Veth comes to gank. Really good. She needs to go round. This is really good. Really good. Go, Kai'Sa. Go, go, go. More aggressive. More aggressive. You see your Bel'Veth pathing and you're that far back. Yes, you can ult, but it's just purely avoidable. You could have got double kill here. But instead, you're playing so far back as the Kai'Sa. It's just a bit unnecessary when your jungler is ganking. And that's probably an example of that. He didn't even realize that his Bel'Veth was going to gank. But notice how this game is just patterns. Red team push blue team in. Blue team either die or recall. Then red team overstays, which is a key point. Because red team could recall to get perfect tempo. But instead, red team overstay and Bel'Veth punishes it twice in a row. So really good example of how, as a jungler, you can punish a winning bot lane, aka if you've got the losing bot lane, how you can punish a winning bot lane when they're not playing correct macro. But also you can see, as the blue team, how to get back in the game by playing off red team's greed and their mistakes. Overstaying, being too pushed in, no proper warding of the blue tribush. So really good examples there of how to play from in front and keep your lead, but also how to play from behind and try and bring back your lead. Now, obviously, we can see now the gold deficit is blown out to about 1.7k. Fuck, that's like 800 gold in the last couple of minutes. The game isn't over. It might feel like it's over, but you can actually see Bel'Veth is 4-1 and Jax is 3-1. So really, when you're the blue team here, yes, Lulu should roam. Kai'Sa should ideally freeze this until you see Ezreal on the map. Once you see Ezreal on the map, that is when you have to hard push this. Because if Ezreal and Lux go mid lane, it becomes like a 3v1. Or if Fizz comes bot lane, Kai'Sa and Lulu need to rotate to the Ezreal Lux lane. So right now, Lux is actually giving them a bit of saving grace. And this is actually really good. It's a shame that Vex died. And that's not their bot lane's fault. It's just a shame that Vex died there. Because, Ezreal and Fizz being in the same lane is a little bit greedy by them, but it ends up working. You do not want to do this. Notice how I said as soon as you see Ezreal on the map, and I predicted that he'd go mid lane, you need to push this. Because all you're doing right now is you're not only punishing your lane, so you're punishing your lane, right? Look at the goal difference. It's massive. And Ezreal's getting platings mid, by the way. So what you're doing here is you're not only punishing yourself, your Lulu, but now you're also punishing your mid laner who wasn't actually doing that bad. She was 2-3, actually had a CS lead on the Fizz. But now, instead of just losing your lane, you've now lost your mid lane as well. And this is something a lot of AD carries do, particularly in silver, gold, and sometimes even in plat, and obviously lower iron and bronze. This is not what you want to do. Look at what is happening mid lane. You need to push this in and help. No. This is the worst thing you could possibly do. You either need to go mid or push out this wave. You should have pushed this out like minutes ago. And now look what happens mid. Imagine if Kai'Sa was here. She'd clean up, by the way. If Kai'Sa was here, she could clean up here with Bel'Veth and Lulu. It's a shame. Now we're going to see them get a freaking... And this is all because of Kai'Sa, right? Like, I'm not playing the blame game. Like, I don't want to say, Kai'Sa, this is like all your fault. Like, it kind of is, but I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm saying it in an educational way of, look how preventable this 13-minute inhib turret, like, look how preventable it was losing this. With just a few simple wave management techniques, how simple it was to bring this game back from, like a 700 gold deficit to now, what is this, like a 1.8k, 1.9k gold deficit. Nice, okay, good. Nice. Oh, unlucky. Oh well. Oh, jeez. All right. Now, this is good by Kai'Sa. This is one of the good things Kai'Sa has done, is group mid. Obviously, this death, if she dies, which I think she will, that's not a good death, but staying mid lane now is a good play by her. But you can kind of tell now this Kai'Sa's a little bit tilted. but tilted through purely preventable things. And I bet you this Kai'Sa, when she played this game, probably thought like, I could not have done anything differently this game to change the outcome of it. Like, I got ganked at level 1 and I got pushed in and I couldn't recall. Then I had to stay on low health and then I died. And then this happened and that happened. And then, they pushed mid and got mid in here, but I was just freezing my bot lane. Like, I was just trying to get back in the game, but just wave management would have fixed all this. And it would allow you to identify that, hey, you are actually in the wrong a little bit as the Kai'Sa. But cool. Let's see what happens. Vex should never be there. Neither should Lulu. What you want to be doing as the blue team right now is actually losing a Nexus turret. Losing this inhibitor at 13 minutes is actually really good for you. Generally, teams can't end that quickly, particularly in gold, teams can't end that quickly. And what this means is when you have a super minion pushing, it means red team never get the mid wave because the super minion is always pushing it in. And what this creates is a really good gold and XP opportunity and window for the blue team where if they can just turtle, sit back and play safe, Kai'Sa or whoever goes mid can catch up in so much XP and gold because red team are essentially missing a whole lane of XP and CS now and gold. And blue team are getting guaranteed gold CS and extra gold because of the super minion. So losing an inhib this early on is actually a really good thing. And you shouldn't look at it as a negative thing, particularly around before the 20-minute mark. It is an 8k gold deficit though, so it is a pretty big deal. But really, as blue team, you don't want to be tilting here. You just want to be resetting and playing as slow as you can because this game definitely isn't over. I mean, Jax is 4-2, Bel'Veth is 8-4. Look at what they're doing here. They're actually playing really well. I want to see Kai'Sa defend here. Okay, Kai'Sa, go bot, go bot, go bot. Kai'Sa, go bot, go bot. Now, why do I say go bot here? I say go bot here because even if this red wave pushes in, it's just going to crash here. It's not going to kill these turrets. These turrets regenerate. But instead, you could have defended the HP on this turret. Yes, it regens at about 2 HP, 3 HP a second. But you potentially could have got a kill on the Ezreal as well. So this game is really all about the Kai'Sa's poor wave management and lack of like macro. And lack of macro in terms of like, hey, maybe I should help my team out a bit more. Like, I shouldn't just be focusing on catching up in farm because that's not the only way to come back in this game. Yes, I need to catch up on farm, but mid lane's guaranteed income and guaranteed farm. What I need to be doing is when another lane or another objective comes up and my team is looking to do it or is positioning closely to it, I need to be helping them because that is also another key component of how you're going to get back into this game. Particularly when you have a 6-2 Jax and an 8-4 Bel'Veth, this game is definitely not over. It's just kind of over for bot and mid, but still very recoverable. Kai'Sa, group, group, group. Look at your team, group, group, group. If your team is grouping there, like that's actually a really good opportunity to get back in the game. If they grouped and pushed this because Kai'Sa came, they could have got the bounty on Rift and could have got kills. I think Jax and Bel'Veth are strong enough in that fight scenario to actually really impact the game if Kai'Sa grouped there and helped pull the trigger. I think that actually would have done really well and it would have been maybe even the last moment for blue team to get back into the game. But let's see what happens. And now obviously... quite good macro by the blue team, actually. Used Rift bot lane. They're now going to crack this as well. Kai'Sa, Kai'Sa, Kai'Sa. It's hard to get in this fight, to be honest. It's really hard to get in this fight. Oh my god, she does no damage to that Alawi. Yeah. Okay, nice. Good persistence. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, nice. Well played, well played. We can clean up here. Excellent. Is he going to die there? Oh, no. But look what happens when Kai'Sa gets in a team fight, right? She actually has a lot of impact. And it's probably the biggest impact moment this Kai'Sa has in this 20-minute game is when she is basically forced to group with her team and fight. But notice how she was never looking for fights. But I think if she did in those key moments of the game, particularly that Rift Herald we saw go down about 2 minutes earlier, if she looked to group there, I think Kai'Sa could have actually salvaged this game and brought it back. At least, you know, rather than it ending in about 3 minutes, this game could have gone for much longer. Cool. I like this initiative. Look, they're trying to get Dragon. I think it's a good thing to try and go for. You may as well, right? At this point, you're down 2 inhibitors. You may as well try and compete for this. But, you know, if Jax, go Jax. Jax, go help, go help. If Kai'Sa and Jax go here, this is another key moment like the Rift Herald, where let's just have a 5v5 fight without minions in our base. Let's just try and fight here. You don't have to, right? Like, if Jax refuses to group here, don't go for the fight. But if your whole team is grouping like this, you may as well go for this. You've got nothing to lose. You're down 7k. You've got a pretty fed Jax and Kai'Sa and Alawi, and Bel'Veth. Let's see. Really good engage here. Survive. Oh, you can't really survive. That's not a bad ult. Jax kind of got a bit lost there. They could clean this up. Bel'Veth ult. Oh. Yeah, that's unlucky. Okay. Okay, this is good. This is good. Oh, unlucky. I think that was their last window to come back in that game. The Rift was probably the key moment, and then Kai'Sa pushing this wave out so she could have helped defend mid was another key moment. Interesting to see how this game, like, it feels like 22 minutes of just pure disaster for the blue team. But when you break it down into key moments, you can see all these key moments where the Kai'Sa and the blue team could have brought it back. Kai'Sa recalling early once she pushed, if she pushed the wave in while Lux was recalling. Kai'Sa grouping mid instead of trying to freeze the wave. Kai'Sa going to Rift Herald when your whole team's grouped. That Dragon fight was a little hard because they were down 7k and they lost to a 4v5. So it was like another really good opportunity. But as soon as Jax kind of overextended over here, yes, he got a kill, but he left Kai'Sa very exposed. It was kind of a bit over. But you can see there's like 4 key moments in this 22-minute game where the blue team could have done things slightly differently. And the outcome could have been different. Maybe the game goes for 5-10 minutes longer. Maybe they get a Dragon. Maybe they get a Rift Herald, a couple of bounties, and really come back into the game. But unfortunately, that is not what happens. Cool. Let's see this play out. Let's see if any moments of brilliance. Really good. I really do like this from Vex and Jax. They are trying to push out this lane. Their team is in a bit of trouble here. Let's see Bel'Veth. Come on, Bel'Veth. Turn that. Oh, unlucky. Could have flashed a bit earlier there. Yeah, I think that's just over. It's a shame. I think the Jax and the Bel'Veth could have really carried this. Seems like maybe the Bel'Veth got a little tilted, but I mean, they were trying their best to try and get back in this game. Cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that game review. I'm going to be doing more of these, focusing on AD carries. If you're enjoying these game reviews and you want more content from me or you want to become a better AD carry, check out the links in the bio. I hold on my Discord weekly AD carry bootcamp masterclasses. Your first session is free. And once you're a full-time member, if you choose to do so, you will get to choose your own session. So what session you want the coach to run. You will get your chance to get your games reviewed live during the sessions and many more benefits, as well as access to all our past recordings. So I hope you enjoy this. I'll be trying to do one of these a week. And as always, cheers, good luck on the Rift, and I'll see you on the next one.